In the wild, mysterious depths of Brittany, France, sits an old abandoned shack. Surrounded by ancient oaks and home to all manner of forest dwellers, it is here that we meet to share our stories. So pull up a seat, swing that light, grab your favourite beverage as we share another tantalising tale in the freaking shack.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the shack. I'm Trina, and
And I'm Steph.
this.
This
it
right here.
Is it that way?
It is that way.
I won't know until we look later if I pointed the right way.
Hi, I'm Steph. Just in case you missed that.
Brilliant. We're wearing the same clothes as we had on last week, mainly because we are.
If you're just listening to this on the podcast, then you won't care.
You won't care. No. If you're watching it on YouTube, you'd be like, you had that on in the other episode. It's like, yeah. Because we've only just
Because it's been about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah. We're now doing this one. Okay. Trying to get them loaded up because Steph is whizzing off somewhere. And then when she comes back, I'm whizzing off somewhere. So we hopefully will have these all piled up and ready to go on the platform. So you won't miss out.
Yes, we are batch recording so that you guys can continue to listen or binge if you are binging. That, you won't run out just yet. But we are intending to keep these going and try and catch up because, I'm going away this week and you're going away next week. So it's all happening. So we need to make sure we're ahead of the game a little bit. But to be fair, how long have we been going now?
Because this October will be 2 years and we have not missed a week.
We've not missed a single week. There's been something. And not to mention the Christmases have been insane. Just saying.
Yeah. The first Christmas definitely
First Christmas was ridiculous. Whose idea was it to do the 12 days of Christmas? No. It wasn't. We did the 12 days of Christmas this year because before it was Advent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We did Advent before and then last year we did the 12 days of Christmas, which was just
do the 12
bad,
days?
But
I can't remember whether we did or not, or whether I just said no.
I can't remember. Bollocks, yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. Okay. We're talking about weird events.
We are talking about weird events, strange events. Some things you can't explain, some things you can explain, and you just go, what? I'm sorry. Sorry? What happened? So, not necessarily paranormal or mysterious as such. Some things were it's just weird. It's just like, oh my God, I didn't realise that had happened. So these are all sort of historically written down, documented, if you like. But sometimes you may not have heard of them. There we go.
Cool.
So let's swing
that light
with the new battery. So it looks like if you're just listening to this, I'm so sorry. Go on YouTube and have a look.
She's got new batteries in her light now. It makes pretty patterns on the walls.
It does. It looks like a disco ball.
It doesn't look anything like a disco ball.
No, you're right. But it does make patterns on the wall.
There you go. I think I covered that at the beginning.
Oh dear. There we go. Tonight, we are stepping into that strange corner of the world where logic packs its bags, science looks the other way, and reality just sort of shrugs and says, good luck with that one. Welcome to the shack, where our kettle is definitely always on, although today is still, it's warm here. It's warm and we're hydrating.
Well, I'm not. I am. I have got water as well, but I've got a bit of rum as well.
Yeah. So the kettle's always on. The lights flicker for reasons that we absolutely can explain, because it's normally my mortally departed dad playing with the electrics.
Or it's Mort.
Not these. It could be Mort. Mort's still with Rich at the minute. I don't know what he's doing. Building smokers or something.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he'd be playing with the electrics because he was an electrician. And if the lights flicker, I sort of know it's him.
It's totally him.
And where the universe occasionally taps on the window just to see if we're paying attention.
To which I normally am not.
No.
But, you know.
Yeah, or it's normally your cat.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's totally her game. Yeah.
Today, we aren't telling ghost stories nor myths. These are actual documented events, witnessed, recorded, and still sitting in the we really don't know folder of human history. So grab your brew or your drink or whatever you've got, pull up your seat, grab a little shack snack.
A shack snack?
A shack snack.
I like it. I need a shack snack in my life.
And prepare yourselves to question everything you thought you understood about the world, including the weather forecast. Swing that light. There we go. We always question the weather forecast because it never really tells us what's happening. We are going straight into it. And it is the Great Molasses Flood in Boston in 1919. I know Steph's got a few little bits on her
I do.
Computer. So I don't know. We don't know what each other has found.
Well, I don't think you're going to have the things that I have because mine are linked to places in the world of weird things happening, but not in this way. So
okay, that's fine.
I think we'll be safe.
Okay. So this happened on the 15th of January in Boston's North End. It sounds absurd, but it was one of the strangest and deadliest industrial disasters in the US history, in actual fact. And this is how it all came about. There was a massive cast iron storage tank, 50 feet tall and 90 feet in diameter. And it sat at 529 Commercial Street. It held 2.3 million gallons of molasses.
That's 12,000 metric tons.
Thank you. I have got that on my other page. But
have
brilliant.
you? I'm sorry.
No, that is absolutely brilliant, you saying that. It weighed about 26 million pounds. Or, as Steph said, whatever it was.
12,000 metric tons.
Thank you. The owner of this huge tank was the United States Industrial Alcohol Company, a subsidiary of Purity Distilling Company. The molasses was being fermented to produce industrial alcohol, which was in high demand for munitions during World War I and for rum production.
Cheers.
Hang on, I've just got to whiz over to my other page.
Yes, the molasses can be fermented to produce ethanol.
Yes.
Which is then used in various things.
Yeah. The company were rushing to make alcohol before Prohibition, which actually started the very next day after this incident took place. So they were making it by the gallon to get it out there before the Prohibition came in. The tank itself was leaking so badly that children from the local area were arriving with buckets, standing underneath the molasses tank, collecting it in buckets. And the company painted the outside of the tank brown to hide the fact that it was leaking so much. 12:30 p.m. on a warm day. It was 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't know what that is in centigrade.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up precisely. What was it? 40
degrees Fahrenheit.
40 degrees. It's 4.4 degrees Celsius, so it's cold.
Right. Oh, right. Okay. It says
warm.
warm.
No. degrees Celsius, 4.444.
That's
There's
not
got to
right.
be more than that, because 50 is. I don't trust that. I don't trust that.
It says that it was 12:30 p.m. and warm. So I don't. Perhaps
Can indeed feel quite chilly. I think it depends where you're from, if I'm honest. 1 Fahrenheit. So 17 minus 17 is 1 Fahrenheit.
it was January. So
yeah, it could have been about 4 degrees then.
okay.
4.5 degrees, something like that.
Okay. So not that warm then.
No.
Not really. The tank just collapsed completely. And a 15-foot high wave of molasses hit the street and completely just went at 35 miles an hour down the road.
That's insane.
£26 million worth, or 11.8 million kilograms worth.
Wow.
Or if it's easier to picture, it says it's roughly the weight of 1,960 African elephants, 65 statues of liberty, or 2,000 empty school buses.
See, they did this. I listened to a nature program, right, by the US. They did this nature program, and they had the weirdest measurements, where it's like 4 2/3 school buses. What? You know, and it was just like, yeah, but what is that? Because our school buses are very different.
Yeah, it's obviously an American school bus. And
so funny, just the way that some people measure things. It was like, oh yeah, it's like so many elephants, it's so many killer whales, or so. It's like, what? Yeah. Have you stood next to an elephant? Because I haven't. So I'm going by other people's books, and in which case I can also go by the meter, because I can see that.
Yeah.
Never mind. Carry on.
But if you can imagine all of that sloshing down the Boston street at 35 miles an hour, and it actually was so powerful that it snapped steel train tracks. It actually sounded like a train coming down the road. It unalived 21 people, 150 were hurt. The molasses trapped people like quicksand. It destroyed a firehouse, buildings. It snapped elevated train tracks. The cleanup itself took months, and the firemen tried to use salt water to clean it, but it stayed sticky. And even decades later, they can, on hot days, still smell molasses.
There's a point to make here. So the fresh load of molasses being delivered had been warmed and to decrease its viscosity for transfer, possibly due to the thermal expansion of the older, colder molasses already inside the tank.
Yes.
The tank burst open.
Yeah.
And
I saw that. I mean, I didn't add it because, again, we were just going into too much detail, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Because my brain goes, but why? Why? Yeah. Was it an old tank? Was it do you know what I mean? Did somebody do something wrong?
It was an old tank, so it was already leaking. Like I said before, there were already, the kids were collecting the molasses underneath. They painted it brown to make it look like
to cover it up.
Yeah. So yes, it was an old tank, and it hadn't been built properly, and it certainly couldn't take the weight of the amount that they were making at the time. But it was all to do with the prohibition coming in, and they were trying to get it.
And they're trying to rush. Yeah. I mean, you saying about it being, because I mean, they said it was like waist deep. Now, if you can imagine, I don't know if you've ever, we have, I'm talking to the listeners right now. I don't know if you've ever been to the seaside, right? Where you have a waist high wave that comes in, right? And the weight of just water. And then you add in the thick gelatinous kind of liquid that is going to be, that's heavy.
Yeah.
You know, that is a dense thing.
Extremely heavy. So the legacy of all this was there was all sorts of lawsuits that came up because of it. And the company originally actually blamed anarchists and said that they bombed the place. But
Not our fault.
Yeah, it was found out in the end that it obviously wasn't. And they had to pay out at the time $628,000, which is the same as $11 million today.
Wow.
The law was changed and it forced engineers to approve these types. Anything industrial now had to have an engineer or a structural engineer to stamp it all and have sort of legal papers to say that what had been built was able to withstand whatever they were putting in it or using it for. So it was the first major corporate liability case, and some say it was history's deadliest dessert topping.
Absolutely. Oh my life. It does say that relatives who lost their loved ones reportedly received around $7,000 per victim, which is the equivalent of about 130 grand. In 2025. I don't know what it would be now, but
yeah, there you go.
Crazy stuff.
Yes, it did. When it came through, it did say that molasses rained down from the sky.
I'm not sure it did.
I suppose in effect it sort of did from the tank, but it actually wasn't from the sky.
If it went boom, like, some of it might have kind of given a bit of a splatter to the people who were close enough.
I'm sure it did.
But
I can imagine it being horrific. But it was just the tank itself just collapsed.
I just hope it wasn't, because they said they warmed it. I hope it wasn't too hot, like to the point, because you know what it's like. Hot sugar.
Yeah.
Is nasty.
Talking about hot sugar, if anyone has listened to my previous story about my grandmother, the is it called siren sugar and sweet voices, or sugar sirens and sweet voice? I don't know which way around. I've got it now. But that was all about one of the explosions in that during the war was actually at the sugar refinery. And that was the sugar dust in the air that caught light from an incendiary bomb and went up, just took the whole building to pieces. Okay. I'm going to whiz through this because I got thrown this as a curveball, I think. I have got, this was phantom ships, as in sky ships. I had to go through this 2 or 3 times to really understand this. It was in 218 BC in Rome, historically documented. It was the history of, it's called Livy, the history of Rome. It's spelled Livy. A quote is, a phantom navy was seen shining in the sky. It's been put down as something maybe UFO-ish, or if you listen to one of our previous things, it's a UAP.
Not an OAP.
Not an OAP. That's me. Okay. The context of it, when they saw these ships, it was the second, I didn't know any of this, was the Second Punic War. And Hannibal the Horrible, Hannibal who went across with all the elephants, that Hannibal.
Right.
Was invading or trying to invade Rome, Italy and Rome. Rome was freaking out about this, and they took it as an omen that Rome was going to be flattened.
A Roman omen.
A Roman omen.
Sorry.
That's exactly what it is. I think that's what this is going to have to be called now. The Roman omen and other weird things. So these omens are really weird. So they saw these weird sky things. A baby in the marketplace yelled out, "Io trionfe." That was put down as an omen. Not quite sure why. And an ox climbed a 3-story building and jumped from the top.
Okay.
Mm.
I mean, that's a weird event.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids shouting in the square is fairly normal, I would say.
Yeah, why would you take that as an omen? Perhaps it was because what he shouted. I don't know.
Maybe it was because of the age of the child. Maybe it was a really, really baby in arms, never said a word in his life, and that's the one that, that's the phrase that came to mind. Okay.
If you're thinking about the episode we did before, it could have been a changeling.
Could have been a changeling.
Not a real baby.
Not a real baby. Could be.
There you go. They took it as omens. And Rome was freaking out. What Rome did? Rome decided to have a barbecue. They held a 9-day sacred feast and sacrificed animals to purify the city. Because of course that's what you do.
Because of course it does. It's exactly what it does.
When you see creatures in the sky and ships, and
you just, yeah.
So Hannibal continued winning for the next 14 years, but he never actually took Rome itself. Because in 218 BC, when the omen happened, this was the very start of the Second Punic War. Hannibal had just pulled off his famous crossing of the Alps with war elephants. He showed up in northern Italy and immediately started beating the Roman armies. That's why they were freaking out, see?
Yeah.
So that was the Battle of Ticinus. Hannibal won. Then the Battle of Trebia. Hannibal won that one too in December 218 BC. Right around when Livy recorded the omens. So that was already 2 battles that he'd won. So this is why Rome was freaking out. Hence all the sky omens and the sacrificing.
I see.
They thought they
that
could
helped
placate the gods.
Right, yes.
Okay. In 216 BC, Hannibal's biggest win was the Battle of Cannae. As in, not can I do that? As in,
I don't know, can you?
Cannae as a place. Cannae.
Okay.
Hannibal destroys a Roman army of 80,000 men. It is still studied in military schools as the perfect encirclement. Rome lost 50,000 to 70,000 men in one day. But here's the twist. This is why the Romans think they did the right thing. Hannibal never marched on Rome itself. His army was mercenary based, so he had to get mercenaries to come and join his army, and he couldn't sustain a long siege. Rome refused to surrender and just kept raising new armies. So he spent the next 13 years roaming around southern Italy, winning battles.
Roaming.
Roaming around, but not in Rome. But he won battles, but he didn't win the war. In 202 BC, at the end, Rome sent, you'll love this, Scipio Africanus to attack Carthage directly. Hannibal was recalled to defend his home turf. Carthage was where he was.
Right.
He was recalled to defend his home turf, and he finally lost at the Battle of Zama in North Africa. The aftermath for Hannibal, Carthage surrendered and became a Roman client state. Hannibal went into exile and worked as a military advisor for other kings. And he died by suicide around 183 BC to avoid being handed over to the Romans.
Oh, well.
And it says here, so the phantom ships didn't stop Hannibal. He actually kept stomping Rome for over a decade, but the Romans outlasted him. They just refused to quit. The omens scared them, but not enough to surrender. There you go. I I'm going to skip the next one because it's a similar thing. Very strange lights in the sky. But I'm going to go on to this one, which is called the Hum.
Oh, yes.
Have you got this?
No, but I did have a look into this one a little bit.
Okay.
A very, very little bit, but go on.
The Hum. The weird sound heard by thousands. What is it? It's a persistent low-frequency droning, humming noise that only 2 to 4% of people can hear. For those who hear it, it's inescapable. It's a bit like a diesel truck idling or a distant transformer that never shuts up. I would imagine it would drive you completely nuts.
I mean, I think it's got to be something. Well, I mean, other than it being a physical thing, but I'm kind of relating it to the kind of feeling that you get when you have like tinnitus or tinnitus, however you want to say it. When you have a constant ringing, which I imagine can get infuriating.
Yeah.
At times. So yeah, and I think it's been reported all over the world.
It has, yeah.
In Australia and Canada, UK, United States, everywhere.
It's not just one place. People describe the hum. It's normally of the frequency. It's usually around 32 to 80 hertz. It's right at the edge of human hearing. It's worse at night and it's worse indoors. It is in specific towns and regions, and the famous ones are the Taos Hum in New Mexico, the Windsor Hum in Ontario, and the Bristol Hum in the UK. But there are other places too. Its effects are that it gives people headaches, nausea, insomnia, memory loss. Some people actually move house to escape the noise.
Yeah, there is a thing that I found where it's like the noises were often confined to a 10-kilometer wide area. But obviously there's multiple of these all over the place. So it's like, what the hell is causing that? Something's causing that.
Yeah.
But it's not that everybody can hear it. And I want to know if this is a frequency thing, like those boxes that you can fit to a wall to stop young people from loitering, that only young people can hear it. But this seems to be not, it's not necessarily going to be a factor.
No.
They're saying
like
male, female, age does appear to be a factor. They said middle-aged people were more likely to hear it.
Yeah.
But that's out of the realms of the frequencies of high and low being more perceptible to younger people.
Yeah.
So it's like, so what is that? Is that like a fluid in the ear thing? Do you know what I mean? Like, because sound differs through liquid. Liquid is denser and therefore sound waves move faster.
Yeah.
So is that a thing? I don't know. Do all these people have something in common?
Yeah.
Not just their age or their,
Yeah. I think they've looked into this so much.
They've got to have done.
They say it's really weird because only some people hear it. Two people can be in the same room. One is tortured by this sound, and the other one hears absolutely nothing.
Yeah. It says that Canadian officials requested US assistance in determining the source, but local authorities were shunned essentially by official refusals to allow access.
They say it's hard to record it because acoustic meters often pick up nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Strange. Descriptions vary. Some say it sounds like a diesel engine. Some a fan. Some say like bees. Bees?
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 Not the bees!
Some say it's like a cicada hiss. And some say it's like an E-flat note.
Well, that person's got perfect pitch.
So, the main theories that have been put forward is that it could be a real external source, it could be industrial, it could be motors, ventilation, gas pipes, power lines, or distant mining.
Oh.
It could also be ocean microseisms.
Yeah, and this is the thing with sound waves through water. It's weird, but these events don't necessarily happen near coastal areas.
No,
do you know what I mean? Some of these are inland, so that doesn't correlate either.
No,
there is a suggested diagnosis of tinnitus.
There is
self-reported.
I'll get to that in a second, but it could be atmospheric resonance. The Windsor hum is they say it's likely United States steel Zug island plant or the military.
That's the correlation. But what I was saying about the Canadians asking for help with that, and the US denied them access to the island. So
very low frequency radio waves. A 1990s UK defence document confirmed microwaves can cause pressure waves in the head that you can hear. So this is looking at it a different way. It's not you. It's you, not the environment. So tinnitus is put down, like you were saying, that tinnitus, but hum sufferers say that it's different. Tinnitus is higher pitched and ringing.
But there's nothing to say that is the only form of tinnitus. Do you know what I mean? Like it's essentially you're hearing a frequency. Is there anything to say it can't be a low one?
Yeah. Well, it goes on to say otoacoustic emissions. So your ear literally makes the sound. A sensitive brain. Dr. Baguli says stress cranks up hearing. Brain amplifies background noise. So
is it kind of that thing where if you plug your own ears, you're essentially hearing your own body mechanics?
Systems, yeah.
Yeah. Is it something like that? Where, there's actually like an inner ear, not enough to be a problem to notice that there's an inner ear problem, but enough for people to hear their own bodies. I don't know.
But then surely if people are moving home to get away from the sound,
and it's obviously stopping, so there's some kind of environmental factor. There's got to be.
It could be a natural phenomena. So volcanic. In 2018, a new underwater volcano near Mayotte caused seismic hums that was heard globally for 40 minutes. I didn't hear it. Infrasound. Earth oceans naturally produced ultra low frequencies. And a notable cases. Taos in NM. I'm assuming that's somewhere in the United States, but I'm not sure. Taos, TAOS, NM. TAOS. And then capital.
Oh, it's New Mexico.
New Mexico, of course.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. But this was studied by Congress in 1993 and is still unexplained. Bristol in the UK in the 1970s, 800 people reported it to newspapers and they got nosebleeds as well as the sound of the humming. Omagh in Northern Ireland in 2023, a whole town was hearing it, and officials are still investigating that. So imagine hearing a refrigerator that doesn't exist 24/7 and nobody else in your house can hear it.
Oh, it'd drive you crazy, wouldn't it?
That's the hum.
There's a treatment. Quite frankly, if people are actually hearing this, I think most people who are hearing this and driven insane by it are going to think this treatment is a bit fluffy, if I'm honest.
Okay.
because the treatment, it's at an acoustics laboratory in the University of Salford. Research focused on using psychology and relaxation techniques to minimize distress due to the hum, which can lead to a quieting or even removal of the noise. A noise and vibration expert, Geoff Leventhal, I probably butchered that, I'm so sorry, has suggested cognitive behavior therapy, so CBT, may be effective in helping those affected. It's a question, he says, it's a question of whether you tense up to the noise or are relaxed about it. The CBT was shown to work by helping people to take a different attitude to it. If I'm being driven completely insane by something, and someone goes, well, you just need to think differently about it, I might want to stick something down your throat. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Just going to throw that out there. You know, I might want to impale you on something sharp and then tell you that the pain is all in your head. Do you know what I mean? Just...
Oh, dear.
I'm not sure how well I would deal with that. But
going on with the next one. This is mass disappearances that were never solved. And
yes.
I've
heard of a few of these.
Yeah. And I have the Roanoke Colony. Location was the Roanoke Island, North Carolina, USA. The year was 1587. And 115 settlers just disappeared.
Poof.
This is, it's one of the oldest and eeriest vanishings on record. A group of English settlers arrived to build a new life in the New World. Their governor, John White, returned to England for supplies. He just said, bugger, I forgot. I just got to go.
Just got to nip back a minute.
Be back in like 6 months.
Yeah. If I don't get lost.
Yeah. Anyway, he returned to England for supplies, but thanks to war, he couldn't get back for 3 years. It took a while. When he finally returned, everyone was gone. There were no bodies. There was no sign of struggle. There were no graves. Just one chilling clue carved into a wooden post. And Did it
say, we don't like you, so we left? Sorry, we decided we didn't like you very much. We took the opportunity while you weren't here to bugger off and find somewhere else to be.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll never find us.
Yeah.
What was carved in this piece of wood was Croatoan, and another partial word, crow, C-R-O. And here's where it gets unsettling. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island and a Native American tribe. The settlers had agreed that if they moved, they would leave a sign. But there was no distress signal carved, which they had promised to do if they were in danger. I think it was a cross or something they'd said that they were going to do. So there wasn't that wasn't carved into the wood. The houses had been carefully dismantled and not destroyed. It looked intentional. So did they relocate peacefully, or were they absorbed into something else? Something unknown.
The thing that was on the wood.
Yeah.
Did they go there?
As far as I know, no, because no one can record them going there. To this day, no one knows what happened to the entire colony. Surely if they went to the island, you would have been able to have gone to the island and found some of them
did he
there.
go to the island?
He must have done. Because like they said, they tried to find out what happened to these people. So to this day, no one knows what happened to the entire colony.
Fair.
That's it. Yeah.
Fair.
This one is about the lighthouse keepers. I don't know if you've got this one. No?
No.
Okay.
I haven't come across this one. I came across the disappearances and a lot of weird ones with that, but
this is the Flannan Isles. And
that's a brilliant name.
Flannan, yeah. The lighthouse keepers. The location was Flannan Isles, in Scotland. The year was 1900. 3 experienced men were stationed on a remote island lighthouse. And then silence. When a relief ship finally arrived, something felt wrong immediately. The lighthouse door was unlocked. 1 set of oilskins, the heavy waterproof gear, was missing, but 2 were still inside. A kitchen table had an overturned chair, as if someone had jumped up suddenly. The clocks had stopped, and outside there were signs of a massive storm. Equipment had been ripped from solid rock. But here's the twist. Weather logs from the mainland showed no storm at that time. All 3 men had vanished. No bodies were ever found. Some theories say that a rogue wave swept them away. Others whisper about something more unnatural.
I mean, a rogue wave wouldn't necessarily sweep them away without taking the table and the chair, would it?
Well, no, the table and chair was in the lighthouse.
But that's what I mean. But if he jumped up from the table,
yeah,
a rogue wave would have been like the pretty quick, you know?
Yeah, but normally the waves don't go inside the lighthouse.
But that's the thing. If there was a guy inside, he'd still be there, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So if it was a rogue wave that took him inside in the lighthouse at the table,
but
then
it wouldn't have just taken him.
No,
it would have taken everything else.
What it actually was the rapture. Just those 3. That's it.
Local folklore speaks of the island being haunted by. We're going back to last week's one now. Little people. And unseen forces.
Oh, it's the Fae.
It could be the Fae. 3 men were gone, as if the island itself swallowed them up.
Well, the thing is, they're still dancing.
Yeah.
You know, time is passing here and only seconds where they are.
Yeah, exactly. Have you? Do you want to add some?
I've got a couple. Do you want to hear some good stuff?
Yeah, go.
Okay, so I started looking into weird things that happen in the world, right? And I started getting on to syndromes.
Ooh.
Have you ever heard of Jerusalem syndrome?
I don't know.
I'll come across one you've heard of in a minute. Jerusalem syndrome, first reported in the 1930s. It affects about 100 visitors every year. Of those, about 40 need to be hospitalized. Symptoms usually recede a few weeks after the visit. Uniquely religious in focus, this syndrome manifests as the delusion that the subject is an important biblical figure. Previous examples include people who believe that they were Mary, Moses, John the Baptist, or even Jesus himself. Sufferers end up sermoning. This is Jerusalem syndrome.
Is that what Trump's got then? Because he depicted himself as Jesus, didn't he?
He did. They go, yeah, maybe. Yeah. They start shouting in the streets, warning passers-by of the approach of the end of times and the need for redemption. Often obsessed with physical purity, some will shave off all their body hair, repeatedly bathe, or compulsively cut their finger and toenails. Jerusalem syndrome affects mainly Christians, but also Jews, with some obvious differences. For instance, the Christians mostly imagine themselves to be characters from the New Testament, while the Jews tend to impersonate Old Testament figures.
Well, that makes sense.
I mean, like you say, obvious, yes. But yeah, so that's the thing. I also have Paris syndrome.
Oh, right.
So we've got steady. We've got to be careful here. We're pretty close to this one.
We are pretty close to this one.
First reported in 2004. This syndrome mainly affects first-time visitors from Japan, so we might be a bit safer.
Okay.
On average, 12 cases are reported each year, mostly people in their 30s. So we're a bit safer again.
Yeah, we're definitely safe.
We're out of the danger zone. Sufferers exhibit symptoms including anxiety, delusions, including the belief that their hotel room has been bugged or that they are Louis XIV.
Okay.
France's Sun King. And they have hallucinations. Why does it mainly affect the Japanese tourists? They've said that this is being kind of put down to possibly jet lag, or it could be the jarring sort of confrontation of the prairie ideal of Paris as exotic and friendly with the rather more abrasive nature of the city's inhabitants, or the high degree of linguistic incomprehension between the Japanese visitors and their Parisian hosts. Perhaps a bit, or rather a lot, of those things all put together. The problem is important enough for the Japanese embassy in Paris to maintain a 24-hour hotline helping affected compatriots find appropriate care.
Wow.
Most patients improve after a few days of resting. Some are so affected that the only treatment they have is to immediately return back to Japan. So that's Paris syndrome.
Wow.
Staying in France, Florence syndrome.
Can you have like Carre syndrome?
Maybe. I think it's a bit too small, really. Yeah. First reported in the 1980s and since observed more than 100 times, this syndrome hits mostly Western European tourists between the ages of 20 and 40. American visitors seem less affected. The syndrome is an acute reaction caused by the anticipation and then the experience of the city's cultural riches. Sufferers are often transported to the hospital straight from Florence museums.
What? This is bizarre.
What is wrong with these people? Florence syndrome, obviously. Mild symptoms include palpitations, dizziness, fainting, and hallucinations. However, about 2/3 of the affected develop paranoid psychosis. Most sufferers can return home after a few days of bed rest.
Wow.
Honestly, there is also a Venice syndrome.
Oh my God.
Rather more morbid, and this is a bit more morbid than the previous conditions. Venice syndrome describes the behaviour of people travelling to Venice with the express intention of bumping themselves off. They're in the city. Yeah. Just between 1988 and 1995, 51 foreign visitors were thus diagnosed. The subjects were both male and female, but the largest group came from Germany. They're putting this down to the cultural impact of Death in Venice, the novel by a German writer, Thomas Mann, which was subsequently turned into a film.
Wow.
However, others within the cohort came from the US, Britain, France, as well as other countries. In all, 16 succeeded in their suicide mission.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. According to research conducted into the phenomenon, mainly by interviewing the 35 survivors, it seems that in the collective imagination of romantic people, the association of Venice with decline and decadence was a reoccurring symbol.
I wonder if you can have shack syndrome.
I think you can. It's like a drastic realization of reality.
Yeah, of comfort, welcoming.
Yeah.
A nice comfy seat, a nice roaring fire.
Well,
Shack snacks.
So a couple others that are linked. Okay. Stockholm syndrome. Heard of this one?
This one I've definitely heard of, yeah.
There you go. So these 3 related city syndromes are linked to hostage situations, the most famous one in the Swedish capital. According to the article in Names, about 1 in 4 of those abused, kidnapped, or taken hostage develop an emotional attachment or a sense of loyalty towards their captors or abusers. Some even start to actively cooperate, crossing the line from victim to perpetrator. Now, skipping across to Lima syndrome, less well known, Lima syndrome describes the exact opposite of Stockholm syndrome. That is, the captors develop positive attachments to their hostages.
Yes.
The name refers to the crisis in the Peruvian capital in December 1996, when members of, and I'm so not going to be able to say that, members of the Tupac Amaru revolutionary movement took 600 guests at the Japanese embassy hostage. The captors became so empathetic towards their guests that they let most of them go within days, including high-value individuals such as the mother of the then president of Peru. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there is London syndrome.
Oh, watch out. That's where I'm off to.
London syndrome is described as the opposite of both. I'm not quite sure how you get an opposite of both. Surely that's like a triangle. Anyway, the opposite of both Stockholm and Lima syndromes, in that it involves the development of negative feelings of hostage takers towards their hostages. In fact, London syndrome most accurately describes the situation whereby hostages provoke their own death at the hands of their captors by annoying, debating, or challenging them, or by trying to escape. So where the hostages try and piss them off so much that just do it already.
Yeah.
Yeah. The name comes from the 1981 siege on the Iranian embassy in London.
Yeah.
During which one of the 26 hostages repeatedly argued with his captors despite the pleading of the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yes, I thought so. There is also Amsterdam syndrome. I think this. Oh no, sorry. Oh crikey. Okay, there's Amsterdam syndrome. I will just give you a brief one of this. The 3 syndromes in the other categories. These are the other ones. Amsterdam syndrome refers to the behavior of men who share pictures of their naked spouse or themselves having sex with their spouse without their consent.
I think there's
obviously we've got another name for that, but you know,
I think there's a law against that now, isn't there?
The term is believed to reference Amsterdam's red light district, where prostitutes are on display behind windows. Anyway, there's that one. Brooklyn syndrome. This was coined during World War II by Navy psychiatrists who noticed certain behavioral characteristics and patterns in a segment of the men recruited into military service. At first, these traits were believed to be a psychopathology. Eventually, because they occurred in such frequency, they were recognized as related to the place of origin of the men involved. Cities were, due to the specific cultural circumstances, the male persona naturally gravitates towards being overly argumentative or personally combative. Brooklyn syndrome.
Wow.
And then there is Detroit syndrome, which I think is the last one. Yes, it is. Detroit syndrome is a form of age discrimination in which workers of a certain age are replaced by those who are younger, faster, and stronger, not to mention endowed with new skills, better suited for the modern workplace. The syndrome reported in 2011. Is it just like, recent, not like Industrial Revolution style?
No.
The syndrome, reported in 2011, gets its names from Detroit, and more specifically from its reputation as a manufacturing hub for automobiles in which newer models would replace the older ones on a regular basis.
Right, yeah.
There you go. So
There you
that was
go.
my research into weird and wonderful things that go on.
Well, I have just a few questions to throw at you because we are nearly at the moment we're at an hour. Once I've edited this, it could be less than 45 minutes. You never know. Wonder where we are. But if you got to this point, please, we need a word to put in the comments.
I think what we should have is we should have the word syndrome, but bonus points if you spell it wrong.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, put syndrome in the comments and spell it wrong for extra bonus points.
Okay, considering that the molasses one that we started with, when I first looked it up, it was talking about something raining from the sky, and the molasses did not rain from the sky. It came out of a great big tank that disappeared. But one of the questions on here was, if it rained something impossible tomorrow, what would you want it to be?
Nothing that's going to damage my roof.
Yeah, just Euro notes would be lovely.
I was going to say notes would be great. Not coins, please. That would just death in a handbasket.
To the Velux windows.
Yes, that's just terrible. But yeah, I think fivers can rain.
Yeah, that would do. Yeah, tenors,
that would be nice.
Even,
yeah,
a few 50s. That would do.
I think money would definitely be on that list.
Yeah, but not coins.
No,
definitely not coins.
Notes, not coins.
Which unexplained event, and this is throwing you out to the listeners as well, please write in the comments, or in, if you're on the podcast platforms, sometimes you can put comments in there as well, or send it to shackpackinbox@gmail.com.
Or find us on one of our socials. Find us on TikTok. Find us on Facebook, wherever. And just say, listening to your episode on this, here's my word, right?
Yeah. We'll find it.
We'll find it.
Which unexplained event from tonight's episode unsettled you the most?
I think the hum. The hum is weird.
The hum is really weird, isn't it?
And it's a bit too real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with so many people,
you look at
across the world. Yeah,
you look at Jerusalem syndrome, and I'm like, I've seen them. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I've met people like that. I don't think it's specific to Jerusalem, if I'm honest.
No.
So that for me is kind of like, and give them a couple of days in bed, and apparently they're fine. So
yeah,
but that hum is constant.
It says
and
here,
persistent.
Yeah, it says here, if you heard the hum in your town, would you investigate, ignore it, or immediately move house? I'd be
in full investigation mode.
I'd be straight up the road to the Marie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oi, sort this out.
Yeah, what is going on? Yeah. But I'd also be getting a bit scientific with it, trying to see if I played a different frequency at a constant rate, would it counter it?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you had tinnitus and you could hear the hum, does it cancel itself out?
Does it cancel
That's
each
what I
other
need
out?
to know.
Yeah.
Do you hear both?
Dad would know.
Yeah. Yeah, Rich would know.
What is one strange thing that you've personally witnessed that you cannot explain, no matter how many times you tell the story?
Christianity. I don't get it. I'm sorry. Religion in general, not just Christianity, but that's the one I've actually personally encountered a bit more, I suppose.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just hate.
Yeah.
I can't
explain it.
I can't explain it. I cannot explain hate and torture and how human beings can be so
lacking in empathy.
Yeah. To have some sort of mentality to be able to do that. is obviously there's an issue. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
And do you think the universe is just trying to tell us something, or is it just messing with us for entertainment value?
I mean, to be fair, if I was the universe, I'd be totally messing with people for my own enjoyment.
Yeah.
So I could go for either of those options. If it was me in charge, I'd be throwing in the odd curveball just to spin things up a bit, you know.
Yeah, just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So that's it. So
for this week,
at least, I'm sure there's many more strange, weird things coming that we're going to be able to talk about in the future. But if you can enlighten us with any of your own, that would be amazing.
But until then, sweet listeners, going back to molasses, keep your minds open and your lamps lit, and we will see you again next week at Freakin' Shack.
Goodbye, everyone. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.
Thanks for hanging out in the shack with us. If you've got a strange story, theory, or even just a spooky question, send it to shackpackinbox@gmail.com because we'd love to hear from you. Follow us to ensure that you never miss an episode of The Freakin' Shack, because listening to us is much cheaper than therapy and slightly more spooky. Until we meet again next week, Shackpackers, take care.